go. All right. So basically, this webinar it's going to be an opportunity for us to showcase kind of very interesting work that we've done with NiCad. This is team work of many people. We've listened to some of the requirements from our customers, suggestions that they might have from the trainings, from our marketing team, you name it. Okay, and we've done an effort to try to compile a set of tools that are going to enhance your productivity, and that are basically for making Inventor more powerful. All right. So what are the Inventor Productivity tools? Basically, this is an add-in that you can install in your Inventor installation, and that's going to enhance the functionality of Autodesk Inventor. They're designed to automate tasks to let you perform some tasks that might be a little too tiresome, or that probably you wouldn't know how to do because they might be a little complex on Inventor. Tools are going to take care of those for you. Okay, they're designed to improve productivity and simplify some complex processes as well. The tools are well, they're available for Inventor 24 and 25 right now, and they will appear in your Inventor installation as a new tab. Okay, they might look a little different depending on where you're working, on the part environment or on the assembly environment. Okay, so right now we have 8 productivity tools, 5 working on the assembly environment and 4 working on the part environment. For the assembly environment, we got the BOM to PDF tool, the autosave tool, the rename parts tool, the copy elements, and copy design. And in the part environment, we got a tool for creating bolts, a tool for reviewing feature statistics, one tool for making threads, and the same autosave tool that we got available on the assembly level as well, right? So the idea in this kind of short webinar is that I'm going to showcase these tools so you get to know them, just put it out there, and just see if how they perform and what people think about them, and receive feedback as well. Remember, we've done this work by listening to people, listening to what they need, some ideas that they might have, and so basically the end customer is very, very important here. All right. So I guess my favorite one, that might be common favorite, must be the autosave tool, right? So this tool works by, first of all, enabling it. The first time you open your Inventor session, you get to choose if you want to save parts, if you want to save assemblies, or if you want to save drawings and presentation files as well. It will give you an option to save the active documents or to save all the documents that are open in your session, and you will be able to set your save time. That is, how often you want to save those files, right? So every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you name it. All right. You can set to save your parts and your assemblies on the default location, that is the location of your project, right? Or you can choose to save them in a different location, and you get to specify how many versions you want to keep. Okay. So for this one, for example, I had enabled it since 11 or something, right? So on my parts right here, I get several versions saved for my board device. For example, this one is a version that was saved with the autosave tool, right? And I got other backups in my regular old versions folder. Okay. I'm able to use this tool in the assembly environment and on the part environment as well. And I get the option to enable two saves if I want to get a little control on how often do I want to save those in case I'm making a lot of changes. And if I want to save a session after a long time, for example, at the end of the day or every 2 hours, 3 hours, I get that option as well. Right? The second tool we have for my assembly environment is the bill of materials to PDF. So that one works for creating documentation. Okay. So for this one, the assumption is we already have the documents. That is, we have the drawings for the parts we want to create. Example like this one right here. Right, this might be a top-level drawing of my board-based device, and might have the drawings for my parts as well. All right, and this tool is going to help me create all the PDFs and get a bill of materials of my assembly. So I need to set up first how I want to export my bill of materials. For people who are not familiar on how this process works, this is done by using the bill of materials option from our assembly. The setup can be saved as a regular file. In this case, I have my setup right here. Right, so I don't have to organize the bill of materials every single time like I want it to be. Basically, you would set up the customization columns, or you would set up the columns with your customization tool, right? Basically, this is how I want the bill of materials to show. I would export my configuration, right? And now I'm gonna produce my documentation with my bill of materials tool. All right, so I'm gonna give it a project number. I'm gonna set my configuration file. In this case, it's my board device template. This is my XML file that I had exported before, right? I can specify how I wanna export this bill of materials. That is the formatting for my file. I'm gonna hit OK, and I'm just gonna hit OK on the tool as well. Did successfully. I'm gonna close, and now this is my end result, right? So the bill of material tools is gonna go through all the parts that I have on my assembly. It's gonna search for drawings that may be or may not be created there, and it's gonna export each one of them as a PDF file, right? So I get the entire documentation on my project with one single click, right? It's going to produce PDFs for all those drawings on my project. It's going to create a compiled PDF as well. And basically, this one includes all the parts, includes all the drawings, and it's going to create my bill of material. Oh, right, this is the original drawing, right? And it's going to create my bill of materials as a PDF, as an Excel file as well, right? So all the documentation is created with one single click. It's going to save a lot of time in case you need to produce many drawings that might be already there for your drawing as well, for your project as well. We also have the rename parts tool. Okay, so this one's going to be very helpful in case you want to change the part name for the file name, actually, for any of those parts. No need to create a copy of this one, doing replace, going through that whole process. It's just a matter of specifying the new name. For example, I'm going to specify name for the ball lever here. for
Hey, Jose, we
PDB.
have a question.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
sure.
does autosave work with PDMs also?
PDMs. Mm, now, right now, the autosave tool it's meant to work for parts and assembly files. We're still looking into working for presentation files and for the design accelerator parts as well for now.
Okay, and another question is, are those PDFs auto-generated and can they be linked to drawings with dimensions?
Well, the drawing files must have been created before. Okay, the tool is for exporting the drawing file first. Okay, there are some tools in Inventor already that can let you create a template for creating this these drawings automatically, right? So that might be something that we can integrate, specifying a template file for creating the actual file, and plus summing this to the bomb to PDFs, so we can export those PDFs in one single go. All right. But how the tool as it is right now basically reads into the drawing that's existing right now and it's exporting the PDF and it's doing that for every single component that I have on my assembly.
Okay, thank you, Jose.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna close this one. Renaming parts. There we go. Right. So let's suppose this part name is right. So I'm just gonna rename this one to ball, for example. Not gonna use any prefix or anything. I'm gonna hit rename, and there we go. Now the file name is gonna be changed in here. Not only the name on the assembly, but at the actual part, it's gonna be renamed as well. Okay, so no need for me to do a replace or anything like that. I get some options for managing my new names quickly. For example, let's suppose I intend on modifying the names of these four parts because I don't want any spaces there. I'm gonna name this one just lever, right? And in this case, what I'm gonna assume is for each one of these part names, I want to make sure that the board device includes a prefix that lets me know that this is part of an actual project. So my project name might be something like BD001, something like that, right? So I can include the new name and can include a prefix as well. I hit rename, and there we go. The new name for my parts is going to be BD001 plus the name that I specified here. Okay. We'll be able to rename assemblies if needed as well. And in case you want to build a custom name, that is, if you want to add a prefix or a number or a string of sorts, you can include those in here as well. It's going to be a longer process to do that. We will be happy to spend some more time in explaining all this as well. There we go. Oh, right. Yeah. But anyway, basically, it's going to let you rename your files accordingly as needed, right? We got the copy elements tool in here as well. This one's for creating a copy of this file, the file that I selected right here, and specify or including that into my assembly. This might be useful in case you need or you want to use one of these parts as a template, for example. and or if you need a new modified version of some component you may already have. Okay. For example, let's suppose I need a new fixture drill like this one. So I'm gonna name this one BD001 new fixture, right? And let's suppose for that one I need two types of bushing drills. So I can specify two copies for my new bushing drills. I'm gonna specify BD002 to let me know that this is a new revision, something like that. I hit copy selected parts. And there we go. We'll have two copies, two new parts right here.
We have another question. Well, actually, a couple. Okay, the first one is when renaming, if the part is used in another assembly, does it update those assemblies also?
In the general sense, no, if you don't have your OR assembly open, okay? That might be something that we're working on for the new version of the tool. So I'm gonna type one down, but it's something that we can also look into.
And another one is, will the renaming feature work with naming schemes from Bolt?
From Bolt. Well, truth be told, it depends on the type of versions that you're working with Bolt right now. If you're working on Bolt Professional, Bolt has this type of tools or some of these tools, right? Like renaming, like getting, managing revision controls, and chances are that you might be already using one of those in Bolt Professional. Okay. Bolt Basic, on the other hand, might be something worth looking into. Um, so that can be part of one of the new revisions that we do for our tools as well. Basically, check on the viability of working with Bolt Basic. But for Bolt Professional, you already have those tools.
Okay, so maybe that answers the answers the other question, which is, does this feature require Vault, or is
Uh,
it built into the version 2024 or 2025?
just plain old version, Inventor
Okay,
24 or 25. Yeah, yeah. These
thank you,
ones
thank
are
you.
designed. Yeah, they're designed for just Inventor. Some of these tools are well, it's in a slightly different way, but are included in Bolt Pro as well. But they're meant to work for Inventor. Yeah.
Thank you, Jose.
All right. Okay. Now, all right. So I got these new files, right? Bushing 0 and bushing 1. And I got this new feature based on this part that I created before. So I can go ahead, modify this one as needed. Example, say I need something smaller like that, or basically any changes that I need for this new part, this new version. Okay, but I can get a head start, and it's gonna be a lot faster than opening the part, saving it with a new name, going into assembly, placing the part, and so on. Okay. We got our copy design tool as well. This is sort of like your pack and go, but for this one, you get the chance of specifying different sub-assemblies location, okay? And you get the option for copying the entire assembly or just copying the assembly file, right? For example, I'm gonna create a new version of this one. I'm gonna save it in. New project. Sub-assemblies location is going to be the same. Hit copy. successfully, and I'm gonna take a look at my files here. Versions, parts, there we go. All right. So I can copy the files for the project, right? The assemblies as well, and the parts that I need uh, for my project. So this is a quick way of creating a backup of your projects as well, and or just creating a new version of a project that you can go ahead and change the name for, basically for managing the files in kind of like an easy way, right? Okay, so we're gonna take a look at the tools that we got right now for our part environment. So the first one is the Create Bold tool. This one it's meant for the creation of content center files. For example, say I want to create a bold right here on certain location. Place it on the origin, right? These parameters might be fine. Gonna hit OK. There we go. Right. So this is gonna let us create entire version of bolt. In this case, with one of the the schematic threads from Inventor, and we developed this one because of the need for many people of creating the action this type of files. Okay, so we're open to suggestions as well of what other type of standardized elements might be good for you guys to create or get a jump start to. All right. We also have a tool for actually making the live thread or the real thread. For example, I'm gonna create a new part here. I'm gonna create a circle of 0.5 inches. It's half an inch. 3 inches long. There we go. And I'm gonna specify thread for this thread generator. This is gonna be my face. This is gonna be my starting edge. Oops, sorry. There we go. All right, so the tool is gonna read into the size of the face that you selected. It's gonna read into the Inventor databases for thread standards that you might find there already. It's gonna let you select different designations, different classes. It's gonna let you specify a certain depth, for example, and when you hit apply, it's gonna create the thread. Okay, so it's going to be very helpful as well in case you need a head start on creating the coil version. It's going to read into the thread. It's going to create a sketch with thread parameters based on what you selected right here. And it's going to create the feature as well. Right? The other tool we have available for the part environment is the feature statistics. So, example, gonna take a look at this part, right? Gonna suppose I'm suppressing these features, right? You know how on many situations you may have a very complex design, and you might not be aware of all the features that have been created. Okay, so the feature statistics tool is gonna give you a clue on what's already there on your model, right? So it's going to show you statistics on the amount of work geometries, extrude features, fillet features, basically everything that has been created on your part. It's going to report it right there as a statistic, right? You can choose to ignore suppressed features, to ignore 2D, 3D sketches, to ignore work features as well. And this this way might be it'll help in case you need to do some auditing for your parts, in case there's weird extrusion or something like that that you might be missing. That's going to help you basically analyze your part a little bit better. Okay. And I guess those were the tools we wanted to showcase as uh, in name of the development team here at Microcat. I want to thank you all for all the suggestions you have given and for all the commands we've received as well. Remember, these tools are an ongoing effort. Okay, so the idea is that we get feedback from the people that were using the tools, that we get new ideas, that if something goes wrong with the tools, please let us know. If you have an opinion on how tools should work, that's going to be good for us as well. We're always working on the improvement of the tools. We're always looking out for ideas, and this will this will let us create new versions of the tool that are more efficient, that might help you guys a little bit better. But basically, so basically, you will receive a better product. All right. Okay, so I guess that's what I wanted to show you guys. I don't know if there are any more questions.